The sun rises over the American highway, and the sound is unmistakable. A deep, growling diesel engine that shakes the ground and stirs the soul. It's the sound of tradition, of grit, of power. A Peterbilt roaring down the I-40, chrome gleaming, stacks puffing like a steam locomotive. For nearly a century, American trucks have ruled the roads with unshakable authority. They're more than machines. They're symbols of freedom, of strength, of the working-class backbone of this nation. But while we've been celebrating the legends of yesterday, something has been happening across the ocean. In the quiet, rain-slicked roads of Northern Europe, a new kind of beast has emerged. Sleek, silent, and electric. You may not hear it coming, but it's coming fast. And in 2025, it might just outpace everything we thought was unbeatable. This isn't just a story about engines or fuel. This is about a shift, a seismic one, in the very DNA of how we move goods, power industry, and live the trucking life. Today, we ask a question most people in the US aren't ready for. Are American diesel trucks about to fall behind? Not in 2040, not in some distant future, in 2025. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why. Because this isn't just about Europe catching up. It's about America standing still. If you live and breathe the road like we do, subscribe now to Trucks Life TM. Stay with us. This ride's just getting started. It's easy to see why America has worn the diesel crown for so long. From the wide-open plains of Texas to the icy routes of the Dakotas, American trucks were built to endure. Machines like the Kenworth W900 or the Freightliner Cascadia weren't just designed to transport, they were crafted to dominate. These rigs are massive, loud, and unapologetically powerful. Under the hood, diesel engines that can pull tens of thousands of pounds through snow, sand, and time itself. Ask any old-school trucker, and they'll tell you, diesel isn't just a fuel, it's a lifeline. There's a certain romance to it, too. That long-nosed silhouette in the rearview mirror, the chrome grille reflecting sunrise, the vibration of the cab as 2,000 AVB or EBFT of torque kick in. It's a lifestyle, it's identity, and it's also incredibly efficient, or at least, it used to be. For decades, diesel was the best tool for the job in a country built on distance. We had the infrastructure, the refueling network, and the industrial power to back it. No other fuel came close. But now, that confidence, that pride, is being tested. While the rest of the world has been forced to innovate under pressure, America's trucking industry has largely stayed the course. Diesel engines still rule, even as emissions standards tighten globally and competitors evolve. It's not that American manufacturers aren't capable, it's that they haven't needed to be. The market has rewarded durability over experimentation, power over precision, and legacy over risk. For years, that formula worked. But what happens when the rest of the world starts playing a new game and you're still dominating the old one? That's what we're beginning to see in Europe. And what they're building out there doesn't just rival American trucks. In some ways, it's leaving them behind. Let's take a closer look at how the Europeans are reinventing the trucking game and why it's happening so fast. While American trucking has held tightly to its legacy, Europe was forced to evolve, and fast. Faced with aggressive environmental policies, high fuel prices, and limited space for massive rigs, European manufacturers had no choice but to innovate. What started as regulatory pressure has now transformed into a technological edge. From Germany to Sweden, the trucking industry didn't just adapt, it began to leap forward. Take Volvo, for example. The Volvo FH Electric isn't a prototype. It's real, it's running, and it's hauling heavy freight with near-silent power. With a range of up to 300 miles on a single charge and advanced regenerative braking, it's proving that electric doesn't mean compromise. It means evolution. Then there's Scania, whose new super lineup shattered fuel efficiency records, with diesel engines 8% more efficient than their previous model. While Americans stick to raw power, Scania focuses on precision engineering, refining every gear shift, every piston movement to save fuel and reduce emission. And Mercedes-Benz, their e-Actros isn't just another electric truck, it's a rolling data center. With AI-driven telematics, predictive maintenance systems, and advanced driver assistance tech, it redefines what a smart truck can be. These features aren't future concepts, they're shipping today. European trucks are smaller, sure, but they're smarter, more efficient, and built for the future. Their design is aerodynamic by necessity. Their cities demand cleaner, quieter transportation. Their governments back progress with subsidies and green zone that reward innovation. And, perhaps most importantly, their manufacturers know they're in a global race. Every truck rolling off the line in Europe today is designed not just for domestic roads, but for international leadership. That's why you'll see these rigs popping up in Asia, the Middle East, and even getting interest in Latin America. They're not building just for compliance, they're building for dominance. And if the US doesn't catch up soon, the road ahead could belong to someone else. So what exactly is holding America back? With our resources, talent, and manufacturing power, why aren't we pushing just as hard? The answer lies in what's not happening, and in what we've refused to change. If Europe is sprinting into the future, the United States seems content cruising in neutral. Despite having some of the largest trucking companies and most iconic manufacturers in the world, innovation in the American heavy-duty sector has been sluggish. Why? Because the current system, for now, still works. But working isn't the same as winning. The U.S. remains heavily dependent on diesel. Nearly every cross-country hauler, every coast-to-coast carrier still runs on internal combustion. And while other nations are pivoting to electric or hybrid solutions, America's adoption of alternative powertrains in Class 8 trucks remains in its infancy. A major roadblock is infrastructure. Electrification isn't just about swapping engines. It demands a nationwide overhaul of charging networks, especially for long-haul routes that span thousands of miles. Unlike Europe, where dense geography makes EV trucking more practical, the vastness of the U.S. has discouraged serious investment in charging stations for heavy-duty vehicles. The result? Even the most forward-thinking fleets hesitate to make the switch. Policy hasn't helped either. Federal incentives for electric trucks are limited and inconsistent. State-level programs exist, but they're fragmented, often favoring passenger vehicles over freight. Meanwhile, Europe has implemented strict emissions standards and provided meaningful financial support for fleets that transition, creating both a carrot and a stick for progress. Then there's the cultural factor. In America, diesel trucks are a symbol of pride, loud, rugged, built for the long haul. For many drivers and fleet owners, new tech can feel like a threat to that legacy. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, has long been the mindset. But now, that mindset might be the very thing breaking our ability to compete. Yes, companies like Tesla have introduced the Semi, and Freightliner has launched the eCascadia. But these are exception, not the rule. Adoption is slow, production is limited, and infrastructure lags behind. And the longer we wait, the further the gap grows. Because while we debate whether change is necessary, the rest of the world is already miles down the road and picking up speed. But this isn't just about fleets and factories. The ones who feel the impact first are the drivers. As manufacturers and lawmakers wrestle with policy and innovation, one group stands directly in the crosshairs of this shift: the truckers. For decades, American truck drivers have built their lives around diesel rigs. They know every sound the engine makes, every vibration of the gear shift. Their routes, routines, and even their identities are intertwined with the machines they command. Change doesn't just affect the vehicle, it affects the livelihood, the culture, and the pride that comes with it. But here's the hard truth. If we don't adapt, the very people who keep America moving will be the ones left behind. In Europe, drivers are being retrained to handle electric trucks, given incentives to switch. and equipped with tools that make their jobs cleaner and more efficient. In the US, many drivers still view electric trucks with suspicion, as underpowered, unreliable, or worse, as job killers. And can you blame them? There's been little effort to include drivers in the conversation. That gap in communication is dangerous, because when new technology arrives without preparation, it doesn't empower, it displaces. On top of that, many U.S. drivers operate as independent or small fleet owners. The cost of transitioning to electric, from purchasing new vehicles to adapting to new logistics, is daunting. Without federal support, it's more than a technological hurdle. It's a financial wall. But what if we turn that fear into opportunity? Drivers aren't the problem. They're the solution. They've always been the first to adapt to harsh roads, tight schedules, and unpredictable conditions. Give them the right tools, the right training, and the right support, and they'll lead the charge, not resist it. Because at the end of the day, technology means nothing if it doesn't serve the people behind the wheel. And as Europe pulls ahead, American drivers will be the first to feel the consequences, or the benefit, depending on what happens next. The future is approaching fast, and it's not waiting for us to catch up. All signs point to 2025 as a tipping point, not decades away, but now. In Europe, several key regulations will take effect that ban the sale of certain high-emission trucks. That means manufacturers are not just encouraged to innovate, they're forced to. As a result, fleets across the continent are rapidly upgrading, placing bulk orders for electric and ultra-efficient diesel alternatives. Governments are offering subsidies, and infrastructure is being rolled out at breakneck speed. Meanwhile, global logistics players, the Amazons and DHLs of the world, are choosing where to invest. And increasingly, they're putting their money in markets that align with the future: sustainability, intelligence, and adaptability. In 2025, the decisions they make won't just shape freight routes in Europe. They'll influence how freight is handled globally. In contrast, many U.S. policies remain stalled in committee rooms, projects are delayed, pilots are launched, then quietly shut down, and truck manufacturers, without the regulatory pressure or unified incentives, continue to prioritize legacy systems over leapfrogging innovation. But here's the twist. 2025 is also a window, a chance. The year that defines whether the U.S. will lead or follow. Because once global standards shift, once logistics hubs around the world demand cleaner fleets and smarter trucks, the cost of playing catch-up will skyrocket. Not just for manufacturers, but for the drivers, the fleet owners, and the industry as a whole. This isn't fear-mongering, it's a forecast, and it's already unfolding. So now we stand at a fork in the road. One path leads to reinvention, the other to irrelevance. The only question left is, which road will we take? The road ahead isn't paved yet. We're building it with every decision we make today. Europe chose to evolve. America still has the power to lead, but only if we let go of comfort and embrace transformation. This isn't just about trucks, it's about vision, grit, and whether we drive the future or get left in its dust. For the truckers, the builders, and every mile yet to be driven, the time to act is now. Subscribe to Trucks Life TM for real talk, real stories, and real insight into the machines that move America. The road's not over, it's just getting started.